your voice of the Valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turnable Office, and we are continuing our Prep Bowl week coverage by talking with another member of the 1988 state championship team, the only Breckenridge team to ever accomplish the feat, and having a very big hand in that, Bruce Yaggie. And how is it going today, Bruce?
It's going fantastic. Really been a great run here for the Cowboys, and looking forward to Friday's game.
Yeah, how fun is it to be able to kind of relive this with a lot of the guys, a lot of your past teammates, as well as just community members who were able to also be part of that 88 state championship?
Yeah, I know that some people, I think Coach Bells has said, you wake up and it's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a new day, but you also have these memories with each other, and you bond with each other, and it is something that carries itself. We're still talking about it 30x years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is impactful to a community and to the people of Breckenridge.
What was that week leading up to it like? Because I know the players are going through that right now. So maybe some nerves, as well as some. I know you're just itching to get to the big day as well. And I know there was a blizzard going on when you guys did it. So tell me a little bit about leading up to it.
I think the beauty of probably being a teenager at the time, we live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this group probably shares a lot of the same mental makeup. I think their thought is today's practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow will be tomorrow's practice. And I do think there will be nerves, but they've been there once already, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they played one game there already, so that is kind of behind them. The awe of things is behind them. They've been through the routine of going down there, and I think that'll make a big difference. I don't remember the storm. I don't remember things. I do remember things around it, moments around it, but
Locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in. You're in the moment, and that's what you're focusing on.
Mm-hmm. How fun was it to be able to see them last week? I know your son's on the team, so I'm sure you were there. How fun was it to be at US Bank and watch them get back to the game? First time back at the Prep Bowl in 30 years.
Yeah, I think from that standpoint, what do you want to say? Awe a little bit.
Yeah.
You after the game, I heard some kids say, watching the Vikings game the next day, like, "Hey, we were on that field." Right there where Justin Jefferson just caught a pass.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, or I was standing there, and so it is cool. It's I don't want to say it's a once in a lifetime experience, but it could be a once in a lifetime experience.
Got to treat it like it is, just in
Right.
case. Yep, for sure. And who are some of the guys that were maybe flew under the radar a little bit from the 88 team that you'd like to maybe be like, this guy didn't get enough of his flowers in his time?
I think there's a number of them.
Mm-hmm.
You look at stat sheets, and I look at stat sheets, and it's the same four names, but you forget about the guys around him.
Mm-hmm.
The Jeff Trumans, who for us was a nose guard at the time on the defensive line. He played offensive line too. Was a wrestler. Was a Henry Sledadol guy, like kind of guy who had a high motor. And I remember Jeff Truman would go up the line of scrimmage, and he'd tell the guy, he says, "I'm going left, and I'm still going to beat you." And he was that kind of guy. Away from the field, docile, gentle, super nice, very intelligent guy. Monty Wurtzema, one of our captains, another one who flies under the radar because they don't see the stat sheets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak to a gentleman of Jason Graw. Jason Graw passed away from our team along with Brad Abel, who was part of our team. Jason Graw, this is the epitome, I think, of a championship team, or of this team is. I don't remember who it was. Jeff Visner. We're running the ball. We had a fumble, 15 yards downfield, and Jason Graw, as an offensive lineman, is following that play close enough that he ends up recovering the fumble as an offensive lineman, telling you a little bit about him. He as the whole team did all the time, had each other's back no matter what situation it was in. And there was a situation where here's Jason Graw, offensive lineman, backup offensive lineman, down here recovering a fumble 15, 20 yards downfield where running backs, receivers, and D-backs should be. So, those are a few people that come to my mind.
Awesome. I love hearing some of the guys that do fly under the radar, because I know this year's team's got guys like that too. A couple of guys on the O line, Landon Schillinger, as well as Sullivan Michael, a couple guys who have had a fantastic senior years. And really excited to see what the Cowboys have for Minnesota tomorrow. But also a little bit, if we wanted to talk about just kind of the game itself. I know you guys went down 7-0, but rallied back, took the lead, and got a couple TDs, Visner tossing to Matt Hasbargen, and then Visner with the pick 6 as well to kind of seal the game. Tell me a little bit, just take us through some of the memories from the game itself at the Metrodome.
Yeah, I have several memories that are very vivid in my mind. I think the first memory that I think is a really important memory to pass on to whoever, to just people in life, Morris comes down and scores the first touchdown. If I recall, no one had scored a touchdown on us. We were ever behind in a game, let alone scored in the first quarter. I don't think a team had scored a touchdown in the first quarter on us. They just didn't do it in the first quarter. They did it on the first series. And it was, 3 to 5 yards at a crack. And I remember looking up at the scoreboard, seeing Morris 7, Breckenridge nothing, and it part of me felt like this can't be. This is not. We're not going down the same path that the Cowboys have gone down here when they get to the Dome. Second place is not an option. And I remember saying to myself and to the kid, to the guys, I said, "Not today, guys. This is not happening today." And I think that's where, similar to the group that we're going to see Friday, and you saw it last Saturday, they meet those moments and they meet those challenges. And you're senior led, David Erlinson making, the couple tackles he did that changed things. Henry Sledadal coming through, and some of the things we saw with those groups of kids really parallel what I see with our team and the mental makeup of things. So that's my memory of the game, is that first touchdown. And from there, the rest was, I kind of want to say, a little bit of a blur.
Makes sense. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how you guys celebrated it afterward. I don't know if, because I don't even know if you were able to head back because of the roads. So. Yeah,
I remember we, after the game, a memory I do have is going up to my dad and seeing my dad, and it was a very emotional moment, just because there's so much invested in this. Like, these guys are going through. It's not just, it's not just the Breckenridge Cowboys stepping on the football field. It's the parents around it. It's the Thursday night meals that are being made. It's the, all the elements around this thing that all the emotions that go into this, and then it's over, and there were a lot of emotions. And, I remember going back to the hotel. I was probably about 50% of a player going into the game because I did something to my back. And I remember the coaches, were chewing me out at one time saying, "Yaggie, either you're playing or you're not." And I was like, "I'm playing." And ended up, I had a cracked vertebrae that I didn't know about at the time. So celebrating for me didn't really happen. I remember going back to the room. Everyone was downstairs, and all the parents having a great time. Oh. And I remember going back to the room and just icing my back, and it was still great.
Yeah, obviously. And not only the payoff of the year and everything invested in that, but for the program as well. It's all the teams that came before you as well, kind of getting that payoff for it. So it would be really fun to kind of see this group do the same as well, for everybody that has, played before as well. But tell me about how you think that another way that they carry on kind of the tradition for Breckenridge for this year's team specifically.
I want to say there's a lot of parallelisms, and there are, but there's also maybe some very deep contrasts.
Yep.
We were 3 to 5 yards every play. Threw the ball only out of necessity. And this group here is a little bit What do I want to say? A little bit more high flying than we were. I don't think 60 points could have been in our DNA. We needed another game to get there. I think the strongest contrast comes in the senior leadership, and I don't think people can speak enough or overemphasize how important senior leadership is. And this group has those pieces in place, and they're not just good football players; they're good people. And I think that's a strong parallelism we had. I remember speaking at the banquet, and I went through the list of honorable people we had and National Honor Society people we had on the football team, and I think you see the same characteristics and same makeup that our group had with some of those values of life.
Yep, it's trying to be great at everything you're doing. I remember Mr. Hago, gentleman, scholar, athlete. That's what he'd always say. So I'm glad that you guys were also rolling with that too.
Yeah, it matters.
Yep.
And I always say nothing teaches people more about life than sports. And I think that group, like this group, emulates that very well.
Yeah. Any other piece of advice for the squad heading into it?
I would say probably the only thing that comes to my mind when you're in the moment, I mean, we've got to enjoy every step of the process. Don't look to Friday right now. Look to today. Look to the moment. Look at the play in front of you. Don't worry about what quarter it is. Don't worry about how much time is left. Scoreboard obviously does matter. And when adversity comes, like this group does show, and they haven't had a lot of adversity, nor did we. We just, every game we were in control, and I don't think I probably played past the third quarter. And with a lot of these kids, but when adversity does come, that's when the rubber meets the road and champions are born. And I suspect this group, there will be adversity on Friday, and I will be very excited to see how they handle those moments, and I think champions will be born through those moments.
Awesome. Excited for the game, of course, and I'll see you there, Bruce.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Member of the 1988 state championship team, Bruce Yaggie, talking some Cowboy football leading up to the Prep Bowl, and we'll catch you guys there. That game will be on B92.7 FM once again.